Hello, welcome to Trisha's Cards and Crafts. Oh dear, I've just realised that I took a photo instead of a video, so all the work I've just done I'm going to have to try and do again. Right, so we're going to do some watercolouring today with inks and a water brush. I have already done one and I will use that in a moment. I'm using a 5x7 card base, and this is one of the sheets of paper. I'll show you the papers again now in a moment. This is from the softly stippled DSP that is in the Saleabration catalogue, and this is the other side of that I'm using, this side, which is wild wheat, and I'm using that for my background. I'm using this, not this piece, but because I've already coloured one in, to go over the top, and I will show you how I coloured it in in a moment, because I have already coloured it in, unfortunately. I've also got my envelope here. I've got a scrap of, I've got some white card and some Moody Mauve that I will use as my for my sentiment as well. Right, let's show you the papers. The papers I'm using are these softly stippled designer series paper, and we've got Calypso Coral, Lost Lagoon, Pebble Path, Pool Party and Wild Wheat in the colours that they've used. So this one is quite a nice pattern. It's got your Wild Wheat, your Calypso Coral, Pebble Path in here, and on the back you've got Pebble Path in like I don't know, a brushstroke pattern. That'll do. Then you've got this Calypso Coral paper with the roses on them, and on the back you've got like this sort of canvas or hessian type textured in paper in the Pebble Path on those two. Then you've got this nice wild wheat pattern of foliage on this one, and on the back you've got the Pool Party, again in sort of hessian or canvas sort of material textured background. Then you've got the one that I'm using today, which is in Pebble Path, and just the roses pattern, and you've got the Calypso Coral brushstrokes on the back. Then you've got this nice Pool Party background with a white flower on it, and you've got another hessian type material texture on the back. And then the last one is the one that I've used as my background, which is this colour with the, it's got the Lost Lagoon, the Pool Party, and a Wild Wheat all in that one with that on the back. Okay, so those are all for a £45 spend. You can get those free if you buy something from the main catalogue, the annual catalogue, or the mini catalogue, or the online exclusives. So I'll just show you how I coloured them in, and then I will use the one I've already done because I've cut that to the right size. The size that I've cut for the, I'll show you. This is the card that, this is the paper that I've already coloured in. I used Moody Mauve and Wild Wheat to colour the leaves. So Moody Mauve for the flowers. Used, that's the Flirty Flamingo, Calypso Coral, sorry, on the back. So this is the paper that I will be using for my card, and it's cut to 4.5 by 6.5. This one here that I've already cut, this is 4 3/4 by 6 3/4. So that's going to be my background. So let's just show you what I did to colour these in quickly. I'll just do one for now because I might as well just do the one because I've already done a whole sheet of them, and you don't need to sit and watch me colouring. Right, it is quite nice to be able to spend some time to do this. So I'm going to do this one here. So all it is basically is just laying down the colour with your brush. You can spend as much time as this as you have on this, and again you can make the centres a little bit darker than the outsides, as you might find on the real flower, but that's basically what I did for the other card. So I went round and I coloured all of the flowers in, and then I cleaned off my brush and used some of the wild wheat to colour in the leaves. So I'll do this one here. I think this is a bit wet, but there we go. I'll try not to put too much on there. So this is all I did for the other paper. So you can see this will save a bit of time for you watching, and it won't have to be such a long video. Don't know where that came from. Right, so that is how I coloured all of the flowers in. Obviously it took me a bit longer than I've just shown you now, but that is all you need to do. Again, if you want to go over and you can add some shading, you can put a little bit behind. It's completely up to you how you do it, if you want to do it, but you don't have to have used the paper. If you've got, there is a stamp set that goes with this, which is this one here, Stippled Roses. This is in the new mini catalogue. And if you stamped this out using Pebble Path, you can do your own little background papers, and then you can use the inks again to colour these images in as well. I'm going to use the Happy Mother's Day on the outside, and I don't think I'm going to put anything on the inside of my card for now, but I will put this leaf on the inside as well, and I'm going to stamp that using the wild wheat, but I'll do the Happy Mother's Day in the Modi Mauve. Okay, I might put something else on the inside before I actually send it to anybody, or let anybody else send it to somebody, but that's the stamp set that goes with it. So I've got those ready, and so I don't need this piece now, as I've already prepared one earlier. So this paper, because it is paper and not watercolour paper, if you were going to use the stamp, you could use watercolour paper to stamp on, and then you probably wouldn't get this warping of the paper. It's not too bad. If I use my, if I can find it, here we go, my foam folder, I might be able to just put that over the top, and maybe it will flatten it out a bit more. If you've got time, you just wait for it to flatten out. It'll go a little bit flatter when it's dried completely, but it's going to be stuck straight down onto another piece, so I'm not too worried about that. This is going to be put down flat. So, and I'm not going to use, I'll use some seal, I think, to put this one down with. So I'm going to just put these together for now before I do the stamping. So those are going to go on there like that, and I'm not going to raise them up with anything. So I'm going to put some, I'll use some Tombow for this one. I might use Tombow for the other one as well this time. I will use wet glue after all, even though I said I wouldn't. But I can put it more, I can spread it more over, so it'll cover more of the area of the paper, so hopefully it'll be able to lie a bit flatter, because more of it will be held at the back. So this is my background. So there'll be about 1/8 of an inch around the card base, and I am putting this landscape instead of portrait this time, and that, I think I'll put that like that there on top. And like I said, I'm not going to be adding any dimensionals on top of this. I will put my sentiment on with dimensional, so that will stand out a bit more then. I'm putting a bit more than I possibly would do normally, because it is warped slightly, the paper, and this will hopefully hold it a bit flatter. Okay, so that's my background done. We put this on, and again it'll have about 1/8 of an inch all the way around. go. And it is a little, that's better, it's much flatter now. Turn it over, push it down with my bone folder. There we go, that's nice and flat now. So there you go, that gives a nice effect. Now for our stamping. So I think I worked out this wrong one. Here we go. Is that wide enough? Yes, just. So I can stamp on here, and I'm just going to stamp with my Moody Mauve. Happy Mother's Day. Quite like this font. I'm hopefully going to get this straight. It doesn't matter too much, but because I am going to be punching it out, I'm going to use my hexagon punch for this one. Could use some die cuts, you could use whatever you want. I'm just going to use this, trying to centre it up a bit. It's slightly small, but not too bad. Try and get this as even as possible. Oops. There. It is slightly missing at the top and the bottom, but it's not that much that you'll notice it too much. And then I'm going to stamp another one out of some Moody Mauve, which I'm pretty certain this is. It does look a little bit... this is the nearest I can get, because I don't know what I've done with it. I have a pack of it somewhere and I can't find it anywhere. But this is either Rococo Rose or Moody Mauve, and I think this might be Rococo Rose, but it'll work for today's purposes anyway. So I'm just going to pop that out of there. Well, do another one. There we go, because I can't be bothered going to look for it. It's fallen on the floor somewhere. Oh, yeah, never mind. And then I don't need that now. I'm going to cut this in half across this way, and I'm going to stick that on the back there like that, and there. So I'm going to put some Tombow just from here to there, and the same thing on the other side. There we go. And put this so that it's got a small amount showing. Try and make it even. There we go. I think that's about right. And then this on the other side. Try and get that even. Come on, you can do this. There we go. That will do. There we are. Now I'm going to use some of my Moody Mauve ribbon. And I'll put that behind. I'm going to cut myself a strip of this. Hopefully get this straight. And it doesn't matter. That will go behind it like that. So I'll stick some seal along the back here and put that where I want it. Whoa, don't stick to my fingers. There we go, that will do. So that's stuck there. Put some dimensionals on here. I'm going to put one in the middle just because I can. And then we're going to put this on here somewhere. I think I will put it there. And I'm covering all of that up, but it doesn't matter because there's plenty more on there. So let's go. Here we are. So put that about there. There we go. Now I've got some, could use either. I've got these in colour dots here somewhere. I've got some more, so they're open, I think. I'll just check, see if I can find them. If not, I will use these anyway. There we go, I have got some, but I haven't got the colours I want anyway. So these are the in colour dots. I've got another packet, and they are, nope, they're not opened either. So we've got, they're upside down. So you've got the boho blue, yeah, the boho blue, the copper clay, moody mauve, wild wheat, and pebble path. So these are just the other way around. I've taken them out. So I'm going to use the moody mauve ones, I think. Look nice on here. So I usually use 3s, but I might be tempted to use a couple more this time. We'll see. So I'm going to put one here, one here, and a middle size one just there. And then I'm going to use a small one here and another small one down here. I think that looks quite nice. Right, that's what I've done with that one. Just put these away a second, and then we can do the inside of the card. Again, like I said, I'm not going to put a sentiment. You don't always have to have a sentiment on the inside as well. You can wait until just before you're ready to give it, and then you can decide what you're going to put on the inside then. But I will use this leaf design, leaf image from the Stippled Roses stamp set. I'm going to put that on the inside here. That's pretty well inked up now. It's difficult to tell because it is the stippled effect. And I'm going to put this just over here on the side of the card so that I've still got room if I decide to put a sentiment on afterwards. Try and avoid the ink. There we go. Oh, that looks quite nice. Right, so that is my card, and I might do the same thing on this envelope as well. I'll just ink this back up again. I was always told you take the ink to the stamp and not the other way around, but in this case it's not very easy to do that. So I'm going to do this way, put that down on my envelope. Be careful with the ink on the block. I do have rather an oversized block for this because I couldn't find the block that the size block I wanted, so it just had to be this one for now. So there's my envelope and the inside of my card. It does fade a little bit. It's not quite so dark when it's had a time to dry. And there's my card. I hope you like it. Hopefully you might have a try doing some watercolouring with the ink pads, or you might even like to buy the stamp set or the papers. You could get the stamp set, and maybe, I don't think there are dies to go with this, but the stamp set and maybe some inks, something else, maybe the watercolour brushes to make up to £45, maybe the punch, and then you'll get the papers free with a spend of £45 or more. For every £45 you spend, you get another item free from the Saleabration catalogue. Now I've got a tickle in my throat. I hope you've enjoyed it. Hopefully you'll come back again. Oh dear me, now I've got sneezes. It's from the tickle, it is. You'll come back and join me again soon. I will be back again tomorrow with my Thursday session, which will be another mindful crafting one. And I hope I'll see you again soon. Thank you very much for joining me. Bye for now.